Hi, this lesson's from page 464 in your student book. And the objective is you'll be able to identify similar polygons and find the missing measure of a similar polygon. And usually it's the side length or the perimeter. And so your essential question is, how do you determine if two shapes are similar? You are welcome to add to that summary to have it a little more depth, because that's a pretty basic question and we'll cover more concepts than that. But definition-wise, similar polygons have the same shape, but could be the same, could be different sizes. And then corresponding parts means the same sides or angles are in the same relation to each other. And I'll explain that a bit and demonstrate that. All right, so here we have the repeat. Two polygons are similar if their corresponding angles are congruent. So the angles are equal, but the corresponding sides are proportional. So notice your book will demonstrate if they're corresponding angles by similar arcs. So here there's a blue arc, and then over here a single blue arc, and that means those two angles are congruent. Then your book will put two arcs to represent that those two angles are congruent. And then corresponding just means they're proportional. Proportional means that the corresponding sides have the same ratio as the other corresponding sides. So as you see here, 2:4, which means the second triangle is twice the length of the first triangle on that side. And do you see how they're corresponding sides because they're in the same position in relation to the single arc angle? And so then you would check and say, does it have the same proportion on the other side? And here, as you could see, this is 8, which is twice the amount of 4. So you would say 2:4 as 4:8, and they are proportional because they can both be reduced to the same ratio. All right, here we go. Here I compared the shorter side, or the width of each rectangle, 1:3 as 3:8. And notice those are not the same ratios. They could not be reduced any further, and so they are not similar. If this had been a 9, we could have reduced it to 1/3. And then if this had been a 9, they would have been similar because they both could have been reduced to a ratio of 1:3. So you would say these two are not similar. All right, now you see some measurements given. You'd set up your ratio as this corresponding side of 4 corresponds to 8. So you'd say 4:8. As 6 is to what? And then you would crisscross multiply. So 4x equals 6 times 8. So 4x equals 48, and x equals 12. Now some of you I know are so quick you just noticed right away, oh, look at the yellow triangle is twice the length of the green rectangle, or triangle, sorry about that. And so you could mentally do that. Well, in your book, they won't be that obvious. There'll be some decimals and some odd numbers where you couldn't do it mentally. So learn the method here. Set up the ratio and then crisscross multiply to solve for the missing dimension or missing length. All right, here, scale factor, another vocabulary word, is the ratio of the two polygons. So here, notice we have 10:15 because those two sides correspond. They're in the same position compared to the other longer sides. And so we could reduce that to a scale factor of 2:3. Now here's the part that could be a bit confusing. Because we're trying to find x, then it's very important to have the 10, because that's from that same polygon, have the 10 be in the numerator. If I had put the 15 in the numerator, that would have been creating a larger ratio, 3 to 2, and so our final answer would have actually been larger instead of the proportion we wanted. So make sure the one you're looking for has that number in the numerator. Okay, so again, our ratio is 2 to 3. So then we would say, oh, if that's the ratio 2 to 3, and our missing side that we're trying to find corresponds to the 18, then multiply it times 18. And the missing side we're trying to find is 12. So again, find the scale factor first of two sides that correspond that we do know. Make sure you have the right number in the numerator, and then multiply it times a side that you are given that corresponds to the side you're trying to find out. And that's how you'll find your missing number. All right, so here's another example. You would say, we're trying to find the x here. So then that means the side that we do know has to be in the numerator. 10 is to 4, and then I would reduce that to 5 to 2, 5 over 2. And so you would keep that scale factor, 5 is to 2, and then multiply it times the side that corresponds with the side we're trying to find. So 5 is to 2 times 2. The 2's crisscross out, and so x, boy, I'm sorry about why that's so glitchy. Sorry about that. So our missing measurement is 5. I gave you simpler numbers that you could mentally see so that you understand the process, that when you have harder numbers in your homework, you'll be able to see how the process works. Okay, we're almost done. Similarly, perimeter works the same. Perimeter, you can also find the scale factor and multiply. So if we're trying to find the perimeter of the second triangle, and we don't know the other two sides, you could set it up as what I do know and create a scale factor with the corresponding side. So 6 is to 3 means the scale factors between these two polygons is 2 to 1. And then we do know the perimeter of the first polygon. So you would take your scale factor times the perimeter of what we do know. So the perimeter of the second shape is 20 inches. So once again, create a scale factor from the two sides that correspond, and then use that scale factor to multiply it times the perimeter that we do know. All right, and that's the end of the video. Great job. I hope it was clear, but we'll practice more in class if you have any more questions. Thanks.